I'm only doing this because now you're a big star, but otherwise, forget it. Okay? So I've got my towel.
Dolce.
That wasn't planned, it just happened that way. It's kind of funny. I get a kick out of it. But yeah, I mean, so what we're dealing with here is so the obvious. You mentioned that you have that new sexy pad that is in the direction of perhaps a gel pad, you know, so that there's very little rebound. I'm not sure, I'm not there, but it seems fairly dead. It's cool. And I asked you, because, oh yeah, this is great for me. This is really great for my chop. I said, well, why? You said, I'm not sure. Right? We have the I'm having fun with you right now. And you said something that is confusing to a lot of people, or it was an answer that is connected to some confusion out there. And that was, yeah, like when you're on it's like when you're playing a floor tom, and you're right. You know, guys, it really depend on the, what is it, the free stroke? It's depending on, they're always doing that, right? They're always getting that, as opposed to that. Are always a little bit befuddled when you say, well, then how do you play on a soggy floor tom, you know, a tuned down floor tom? And they go, right? So at that point now, perhaps you need to turn your wrist. And so there's a lot going on there, and it can lead to confusion. And it did for me for a long time. I get it. You know, the best therapist is usually the best patient, right? And so I've been down this technique road one or two times. But Dick would say, Richard Wilson would say that, oh yeah, the feet are, you know, a lot easier, man, because you don't have fingers. You don't have to consider 5. Murray would count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, and what we're doing we're eliminating one of the variables, right? We're eliminating rebound, kind of. Mm-hmm. You play on that was Buddy Rich recommending that you play on a pillow, which I've done. Right? And so, because now, so I'll be Socratic about this. What do you think that helps you come to identify if there's no rebound? Now you have to turn your wrist. That's a way of getting you to turn your wrist, right? Which is really what this is all about. So now we don't have to think about the fulcrum in the hand. That's whether or not we're considering that. That's another discussion, but now all we're doing is turning our wrists. We're turning our wrists. And so that's why that would perhaps be helpful. The other thing it could do would be to help you develop fulcrum. Because now if you don't have a good fulcrum, it's not going to bounce. It won't bounce. I don't know. I think this is in the screen. See? How many bounces can we get? Almost 4 here. All right. So, and the more I fold up this towel, the fewer rebounds I will get. Okay. So that's what is beneficial about playing on a surface that doesn't have a lot of rebound. Right? Okay.
Kind of alluded to that. I think there's even more to it, which is like actually keeping this 3-finger grip with no rebounds in a way is kind of tougher for me, at least, actually. So it'd be easier just to kind of like do it like this and just do it like purely wrist and that's it, right? This would probably be easier for me, but like just keeping it relaxed with no rebounds, because obviously there's a lot of there's inevitably way more muscle involved into this, right? So pulling it out way more, right?
Well, and perhaps you'll come up with some things that you can teach me. What I will say, and I hope it's not inappropriate, because he is one of the fastest drummers, like the U.S. Core champion, like more than once. Robbie Carson, ridiculously fast, and a really lovely human being. And I took a lesson. Go take a lesson with Robbie. And what Robbie had me do, and this is why I want to be careful, because I only took one lesson. That's important caveat. What he had me do is, if I remember correctly, it was years ago, was he had me just hold the stick and turn my wrist. That's where he started with me. And there was no 3-finger grip. There was no. I just remember him saying, "Take this." So I went back to Dick and I said, "Robbie, does that?" He says, "Yeah, that's a good way to help you learn to turn your wrist." Right? So, okay, so you'll make discoveries as you practice on your new.
But this is the thing, is I don't think one thing invalidates the other. I think this is the point, because one thing is just to actually just do the actual wrist turn itself. This is just like the wrist turn itself, and then the next level, right, is how can you actually do the wrist turn controlling just with the 3-finger grip, right? I think that's the thing.
I would perhaps put that differently. Yes, and maybe because I think really what you're talking about is fulcrum potential, which I think is a Richard Martinez concept. I don't remember Richard Wilson saying fulcrum potential, right? And so that 3-finger grip is about fulcrum potential. So as we go along, some of this will make more sense, and you'll add to it because you're a thoughtful human being. But aren't you scheduled for a TED Talk anytime soon, kind of thing, right? I get it. Okay. So if we're looking at the Paradiddle, because that would be the next stroke.
Yeah, we kind of touched on it, but then we kind of went back again.
Right. We found that it was important for you because you were in a modality of playing at a large venue, and I asked you, did you take a solo? And he said no. And I said, oh, that's what we're doing here, you know. And so I started to help you learn how to solo, which has to do with singing the tune. He said, do you always sing the tune? And I said, yeah, I do, unless it's like an open thing, and then you have to. And Buddy Rich would do that. I think there's remember him at the didn't Playboy have a show where they go to like one of the Playboy clubs, the audience, black and white. No, that was in color. And they played. I remember April. Da 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 day, ga day, good day day. Da 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 day. And Buddy starts the solo, and he's like he forgets purposefully. He's not playing the form. There's different ways to, so that's that kind of solo, and then therefore that would mean what when you want the band to come back in, because the band knows if you're playing the form, they know when to come in. Now you have to count the band in because you're playing the tune. But I don't think So that hadn't entered into your lexicon. So we ended up getting you to sing. We had you play the well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's how it went about. Dot, then an accent. 5, 1, 2. Dot, dot, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2. I should put it up. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Can't do ba 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 do da do da da do ba do day. Should be able to sing a tune that's like there. I'm singing a tune in 4, right? Or at least be able to sing the pattern. And you're able to do that, right? So I think that was important to cover that. And I hope you're working on your solo. So if we were to play the Paradiddle, let's see. We can approach this in different ways. Okay, you're starting there, but I want to start at the other end of the spectrum. When it,
What's the difference?
in regards to beats per minute. Okay, so put the metronome on at 52. Now this might seem like this is for kids.
No, not at all. I don't know.
But it is, because this technique in some sense is really simple. Not in some sense, it is very simple. Okay. So embrace the simplicity. And let's just think about this in a way that, and here what I'm doing is, in a sense, it's akin to playing on a pad or a surface with no rebound. We're not going to consider rebounding because we're playing this as 8th notes at 52. Okay, so how would you play that? Slow the metronome down to 40.
Sorry.
You notice you're playing it differently now? You're turning higher for the notes that are accent. For whatever reason, slowing it down promoted that. Which is cool. Now play 4 rebounds in your right hand. Da 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 da. First play paradiddle. Oh, I said the right hand, and just a regular wrist turn.
Oh, okay.
You notice that my hand doesn't come up very much at the end. It's so tiny. It stays relatively flat, so you don't want to get. That means you're opening up your hand and then closing it. You have to stop. Can't cover it up. I see you came up. Play 3. Look, watch. It doesn't move very much. Do this. See how little it's moving after? Play 2. There you go. It's not moving very much after.
Well, I raised my pad, to be fair, so.
Oh, okay, but well, because you should be able to do that even on a pad that's lower or higher, or on any one of your sound sources. Right? But I get because this is a rarefied environment, and so I'm glad you considered you're still coming up, even though you raised your pad. That's what I mean.
Yeah, but but again, I mean, it has to rebound somehow, right?
What we don't want to do is open up the hand. If we don't open up the hand, just play a single. Just a single. Turn up a little bit. It stops, doesn't it? It should essentially just stop. Better. You have to work on that. Okay? And when we stop, we should be not up in the air, but we should be down low. Here, parallel beat to butt out. Okay, so there, do that in the other hand. Just play one note. Okay, now play 2 notes. Good. Okay. So that grip has to be in place so that that can happen at any time. That's why I wanted you to go whatever tempo that was. And those 8th notes. you make a pass, after you play a paradiddle both ways, then you go using the hand that started, I guess. Yeah, para. Do that. Play a paradiddle.
Okay.
1, 2. No.
Oh, it's the first note, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. And then you stop. Now you're going to play a wrist turn double. Don't throw for it.
Okay.
Because in the paradiddle, we're not throwing for the double, are we? I'm giving you a way to think about this. I'm providing you now a double. Well, I don't mind you turning up. I know the double might be smaller, but I just want you to turn your wrist and feel a rebound. Do it again. Okay. Now, go ahead and do it again. Play a paradiddle. Metronome on at 40. Now go the other way. Okay, so that grip is in place in such a way that you're able to accomplish playing a rebound on this particular surface, right? Okay, so go ahead and move the metronome up now to, go ahead and put it up to 48. Let's see what it looks like there.
So same pattern, right? The double at the end, right? Or no?
No. Good question. Just play the paradiddle right now. Let's just get a sense as to what it sounds like at this speed, what it feels like at this speed. Trying to get this feeling into our body. Now just do this for me. Don't play the throw. Okay, now incorporate the throw. Now, as you can see, it's slow enough so that there really isn't an upstroke, is there?
No.
Okay, play it again, and this time play one pass and turn and see if the stick will rebound. And the other way. That's good. Okay, good. Now let's put the metronome up. Oh, let's put it up to... Go ahead and put it up to 60. You'll notice this speed, it's just starting to become slightly unmanageable. It doesn't feel, you'll notice, you have to be honest with yourself and notice it.
I am very. I'm too honest. That's the problem, man.
That
I'm always very honest. That's always the issue.
good. You know I'm right.
I don't think so, man. I personally don't think so. But okay, fine. I mean, you're observing it, so.
But you watch this back. It'll go faster. You trust me, and then watch it back and you go.
Oh, I trust you. I trust you. It's fine. Yeah. I mean.
So now your right beat is dipping. It's not staying at the floor. Out at the beginning, it was kind of up and a little wobbly. Right? You were searching. You weren't right at the floor. No. Let's see. This is why it's cool to break these things down at a slow tempo. Let's see. So it's yeah. So that's what you did. This is what I want. And I don't play this script, but you know.
What do you do other than this?
But here's what you did just now. It's It's not. This is slow enough so that so you're working on your singles. You're trying to figure out why your right hand figures it out intuitively or by feel, right? And you can't quite figure out why the right's better than the left. Well, consider this stuff. Because here we're at this tempo, and you're doing this for your tempo. Yeah, you didn't do that.
Okay, fine. That's okay.
I
generally don't think it has to do with the speed personally, but.
Well, you weren't doing that before when it was slower. You put it back down to 40. You weren't doing that. Oh, right just dipped. Oh, right did. Nope, right didn't stop at the floor on the downstroke. Have to stop. Yeah, have to stop here. Watch. I can do. It's really slow, right? So that's what's happening, right? But go ahead, do that. See, if I play traditional, this isn't set up. Watch. It's the right hand on the side. I have to bend over though because it's not really. But still, see, all the concepts are in place. We're trying to make a stroke, come down, stop parallel. 2 wrist turns. It's not a bounce and a wrist turn because we're not working on the free stroke. You'll find that probably playing on the pad with no rebound would make it easier. You probably wouldn't have bounced. You see what I mean? How it can help? Go ahead and try it on the other pad. See what happens. It promotes 2 wrist turns. Oh, don't stop too low. You're throwing the right. I was always dipping down. There's no floor. Up, the right just went dwing, dwing. So it wasn't the right just went dwing, ding instead of dot. Right. Okay. Take that away. So you can see how that'll help you consider things in another way. And you can see how just speeding the thing up a little bit suddenly, believe me, Raph. And it's not bad, but we're shaving away. We're going from maybe going from a Timex to a Seiko to whatever the finest Swiss watch is in the world. Maybe that is I'm not really a watch guy, but okay, we are really creating. We're developing a meticulous kind of awareness because the playing is supposed to be meticulous for real efficiency. Okay, so that was good. Okay. So now go ahead and put the metronome up to 72. Now let's see what happens there. Now as you go along, well, we'll see what happens. I'm not going to. No. Now you're playing.
Yeah, that's 16.
You're playing twice as fast. Now remember, you have to. Now Now, why are your sticks so far apart? Show me your floor. Show me your floor. You have to decide what your floor is. Is this your floor? That's how far the stick should be, give or take. There's going to be a little play for human beings, right? Try to get in here somewhere. Not come out here. That means you're doing something, not just turning your wrist or making a throw. Right, not stopping at the floor on the throw, stopping too low. And I look where it is. It's almost touching sometimes. The right is bumping into the surface. Oh, right there. Ah, right. That's where it stops every time. At the right dip. Sit right there.
But what do you mean by the right dip? What do you mean by that?
You're doing this. Be interesting to try to mimic it. I can't even do it. Right? And it's down here somewhere. Doing like this. I can't even do it. When you watch back, you'll see it. I'll point it out when it happened. Right there, it dipped. Right there, it dipped. When you go up to make your throw, it doesn't do this. It does, watch, it does this.
But that's normal. Like if my wrist is here, and if I turn it like this, it's gonna go down, right? Otherwise, I need to lift it with the arm.
No, this is cool. This is great stuff, man.
It's impossible, Kevin.
What happened to the Richard Martinez's fixed point in the universe, which came from Richard Wilson saying, Richard Wilson, and I have the video, and I think it's erased. You leave the bead down, and he grabbed your bead. And he
yeah, if you grab the bead, you can, but if you don't grab, you can't.
Leave the bead down when you go up. Right here. That what he meant was, I wonder if I can. I knew someone who played brilliantly, and they thought, and they stopped studying with Dick, and they thought that you did go down on the way up a little bit. And I took that to Dick, and he said, no, you don't. So I took that to him, and he said, oh yeah, you throw away all your power. Interesting perspective. Keep it right here. You don't throw your power away.
Yeah, but if that,
so you go up like this. So put your finger here on the bead.
If that's the case, then the arm has to also rise at the same time. This is physics, right? Like if I'm holding my phone here and I'm bending my wrist, it's gonna bend down, right?
Here's what I want you to do. I want you to stand up. Go ahead. I'll do it with you. Just face the camera. Get. And I want you to roll up onto the balls of your feet. Mm-hmm. Go on, do that. Okay. Sit back down. Now I want you to roll up onto the balls of your feet so I see your knees go up. Do your feet go down below the floor?
It did not, but this is the thing, is because this is the difference, is the stick is lying in the air. It's not lying here. Here, of course, I can do this because I'm pushing it down, right? Here I can't. This is just physics, right?
There's a reason that Richard Wilson and Murray Spivack called this the floor. Because it's like a floor. It's actually like a floor.
Yeah, I can't push it down. This is the thing.
It requires certain things, and they might seem counterintuitive, and I get it. I really do. but the floor is the floor is the floor. So Dick would take you, go ahead and put your hand, I'll show you what Dick would do, because maybe, hey, maybe Dick is wrong and Raph is right.
Again, if you're holding the stick, again, it allows the stick, you can do that, but then it means that your finger is the one acting as the floor.
Raph?
This thing, you can push it against it. This is just physics.
Now just put your fingertip on the touch here, little touch the fingertip of the middle finger right here. Right, so it's in fact, don't even touch it. Just have it right there. Good touch. Now, can you go up and leave it right there?
No, man, it's impossible. Man. Oh, I mean, I can. I need to do this.
No, you raised the bead.
I need to do this.
Yep, there you go. Now come down.
But I'm using my arm at the same time. This is the thing, because I can't just use the wrist. This is impossible, right?
You know how this throw has been confusing to you as it has been was to me for years? That's because I didn't understand this. This will help you lead with your wrists. Don't you understand? Dick would say, the more you lead with your wrist, the less the arm has.
But that's exactly because you always say, well, first you need to touch the wrist and the arm will follow. That's fine. I get that. But
well, you're not getting it. Dick would say, the more you lead, I'll give you some more Dickisms. The more you lead with your wrist, the less the arm has to move. He'd also say, don't you understand? You can't get the bottom of the bead if you don't lead with your wrist. Let those ruminate for a minute, those ideas. I want you to go up. This is cool because we're going to get your throw together. You're going to go up and leave the bead right there and come down.
If I hold it, I can. If I don't, I can't.
Here, I'll show you. Watch. It's right here, right? I'm leading with my wrist, you know. Can't do this if you can't do this if you're not leading with your wrist. You see, if you lead with your elbow, what will happen is the bead that might stay there. The angle of the stick will change. That would be molded. I'm not saying that's wrong. It's just a different technique. But what this throw that you're trying to learn is all about is learning to do what I'm showing you right now. So you're gonna leave it. Look, right there.
It's impossible, Kevin.
It's right there. It's an imaginary fixed point in the universe. You're moved. That's what this whole technique is, dude. No, you're dipping it on the surface.
Because again, I'm holding to the stick.
If you do it.
It's impossible. It's like this thing is gonna angle down.
Raph, how come it's not for me? See, this is you're
because
with reality. Look, I've led with my. It's the thing I've been trying to get. I've been teaching you. And you're this close to it, and you're arguing with me. This close, and that's how much you're moving. This much. That's how close you are to actually getting.
This is what I'm.
Instead of insisting, you know, Richard Wilson, the gentleman has passed away now. He was quite brilliant, but I think he ended up taking his own life. He was a physicist who played drums. And and I have it somewhere, he sent a letter to Dick telling him about how wrong he is about everything. If I send you Dick's drum solo with Duke Ellington on the world's busiest intersection, it's like Buddy Rich and then some. And then you go out to Mr. B's, where I heard this guy play, and you listen to him play. So people talk, and he had drawings of cannons to show how a cannon would be. See, this is a fulcrum, and he's got this cannon, and the fulcrum has to be here. Arguing just kind of like, because it's physically impossible. Only Dick played circles around this guy. This guy couldn't play.
Yeah, but that's irrelevant. to the discussion. If he can play or not, that's irrelevant.
What I'm trying to say is that a physicist insisted on things working in a certain way, but in reality, he was wrong. He just was wrong. So, because the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, but if I'm holding,
nobody that I know is faster than Dick and Buddy and Louis Belson. And this is what Murray and Louis were doing. Okay, well, why don't you try something new? Imagine you're not a bird, but you can fly. Try this. Just have fun. Because this is your time. How much time have we just spent on this? Come on, have some fun. I don't know what you're drinking around there. You should go out and get, what's the hippest beer? I can tell you what the famous beer in Canada is. It's Molson Canadian, of course. But there must be what's the hip beer in the UK right now?
That's many more. Let's say Heineken, for example.
You're not even, okay, great. This is a beautiful beer. I get it. Okay, maybe you need to just chill out, Heineken or whatever.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense logically. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, but now we're going to see, let's find out if your logic is failing. It might be. Hey, maybe this whole technique is bullshit.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
This whole technique is based on what I'm showing you right now. This is kind of like a keystone. So go ahead and try this. You can do this. And just go on up and leave the bead right in one spot. No, don't dip it.
I can't. I mean, I can. It's like this. But I'm using my arm. That's the thing, right? I'm using my arm.
You don't know what you're doing. You don't know if you're using your arm or not. You really don't know. You're just talking right now.
Okay, fine.
You are, because you really haven't fully identified what an actual throw is. We just really got you into Murray. We got you into Murray last lesson. Because his throw is a little different than Dick's. So you're really getting into the throw. But you're missing the most important point. You see, Dick's throw, he'd go up like this. Right? I have him on video doing this. The bead isn't going down. Here, go here. Do this with me.
Sure.
Yeah, just go. Now do this. Look, the bead isn't touching.
Sure.
Now just go on up.
Not a problem. That's what.
Yeah, go on up. Stay with me. Keep this flat. When you're at your monitor, go on all the way up. Look, I'm like this. Don't let go up front. 3-finger grip. Don't lift with your arm. See, now you're not leading. Don't just keep it right there. Now you're leading with your wrist. But I have to use my arm. Yeah, but you led with your wrist. The proof is that the bead didn't move. So the bead is a fulcrum. The middle finger is a fulcrum. The wrist is a fulcrum. The elbow joint is a fulcrum. Anticubical fossa, and the shoulder is a fulcrum. And now we've engaged all of them, haven't we? All this weight to come down for free. That's an honest to goodness throw. You did really, yeah. Which is why you find it hard to come up in a Dick style way. Now Murray would do this. We're back into Dick and Murray. Cool. Murray would leave the bead here. He'd go up, and he'd quickly get to here. Bead isn't touching, and he'd go up. What? Leave it right there. I know it's a little hard to do. That's part of the game. You leave it right there, and then Murray would cock his wrist in it. Try that. No, okay. Good. No, to really set up first. Set up. You got to set up, because you know that beat. There you go. You're leading with your wrist right now. Now cock your wrist. Cock your wrist. Cock your wrist. There. Now give me a Dick Wilson throw. Go up a little further and leave the bead down longer. Right there. Yeah, go on even further. Come on, up even a little further. There you go. Now you're making a throw.
Sure. If you want to call that leading with your wrist, then fine.
See, I'm trying to. Words aren't always entirely effective because words mean nothing. There's just nothing unless they're connected to reality. Now you know what it means to lead with your wrist, right? All that other stuff you had, it's kind of fun. And you're talking to the king of the ability to not recognize reality. I'm very good at that. I admit it. It took me a long time to accept these fundamental, oh, it doesn't matter if I just do this, or if it moves a little. Yeah, it does, because you're not really feeling it. Okay, good. So play along with me, and it got like a lot better. And I know that felt better, because now this makes sense, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's not, look, it really makes sense. Look, it makes sense. Here's Murray. It makes sense. Now, Dick would say, we haven't got into the upstroke yet. Now you have the potential. You know how there's fulcrum potential that we're working on? This concept of fulcrum potential that Richard Martinez that coined that phrase. Right? Well, we also have now the ability to get the bottom of the bead on the way up potential. Because Murray would train you, even though I know you say it's impossible, Murray would train you to keep the bead right there. So that if you needed, you could get the bottom of the bead. You could, remember, he says it to Louis in the video. You're so close to the surface, you can't help but make a strike. Well, for you, who knows where you are to make your strike, because your bead dips down, it stops up in the air, it's moving all around, and now you've stabilized. No, it stops here. Okay, so now you have upstroke bottom of the bead potential. Metronome back on, 72, and you're going to pay attention to the bead and its relationship to the surface. Changes it, doesn't it? Really have to be flat to begin with. Don't let the double in your right bounce up. I want it to stop too. It's slow enough, it would just stop right there for a minute. No, your doubles now. See, this is where it gets a little rough. It's supposed to get tricky. It's supposed to get tricky. It's 72. Yeah, stop. I don't go. It's this. It'd be like I was playing singles. This is why I wanted to talk to you about singles too. See? Floor. Fixed point in the universe that we travel through to make a strike, but we always come back to the fixed point in the universe. Go ahead, see. Go ahead and play doubles at 72, because you're having problems on the wrist. Playing doubles at 72. That first right has to stop down. Just play your left is better than your right. And you go on about how your left doesn't play singles as well as your right. And I want you to just play singles in your right. It's come together. It's starting to become more solid. You feel the 3-finger grip. I really want you to feel stopping down. See? There's a moment of rest. Look, there's a moment of rest. Rest, 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 rest. And it's right there. Look where it is. So if I want to make a throw, I'm right here, moving around a fixed point. Okay, so this is, like I said, it's one of the keystones. Okay? You don't have to pound it hard. So you haven't learned about that magical place yet, that floor. You're just today becoming aware of it. Don't play so hard. Just lift it up and let it come down. Play half the speed. Speed. That's what it does. There. It just comes to an immediate stop. Remember I said your wrist doesn't do anything? It just stops. You have to see why that's important. It doesn't go like this every time. It just stops, stops, stops. Okay, now play triplets. Da, 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 da. There you go. Now go 16th. Keep it, just keep that going. There you, almost. Yeah, almost there. So you can do this. You just, yeah, come on. Okay, now stop. Okay, so really can't come back to the floor. Can't do this. It's gotta do. That. Right there. Yeah, you're learning about this kind of. I'll come up with the right name, because now we're not using it, just you're becoming aware of the spot, and it's important, and that idea of Martinez's fixed point in the universe is important. But this fixed point in the universe is the floor. Right? Okay, so now you're becoming, now it might make logical sense to you. Okay, and that's what's so magical about this stuff, because it can mess with your mind. So you end up writing letters to people with drawings of cannons and how they're manipulated to aim the cannon over around a fulcrum, but it has nothing to do with playing snare drum. It's just words, fulcrum, fulcrum. What does it really mean? Okay. Metronome now up to, go and put the metronome at 92. Let's see what happens. Where you're starting, find that magical place. What are we going to call that? So your right's out of control. Your right's out of control. It dips. It's going to dip right there. Dipped on the way up. Dip right there. Now it goes up around the fixed. There you go. Up, dipped. Dipped. Came up. Didn't dip, but came up. There it is. Almost. There, it's coming. Feel that place that you're moving around? That the magical button. I don't know. Place on the head of a mushroom. Not a head of a, I don't know, the magical mushroom. I don't know. Okay, here we go. So, okay, it's coming along. You really have to, it changes it, doesn't it? Subtly. So, 92. So here it is with no throws. But there's still that magical place of rest. It's the magical mushroom. There it is. And I really don't play matched in the left hand. But if I were to play it, watch. See? Look. Although the grip is different and everything, look where I stop. See, it's the same thing. Don't you see? Look, it's this, dude. Or Murray comes up sooner. Yes, the floor. Okay. Go ahead, try it again. It got better. This time, play it without throws. We're going to do all three. What you can focus on, because there's no throw, you don't have to worry about the dipping on the throw. See, it's the throw that's making you want to dip. The doubles have to stop at the floor. You're just bouncing up in the right. It's bounce up, bounce up, bounce up, bounce up. Almost got to stop at the floor. A wrist turn is this. Watch. Ref. Watch. This will make.
We get the floor, man.
Come on, stay with me, Nick. Come on. A wrist turn is just this. Just do this with me. Just do this with me. No stick. You can have a little grip. I'm making a gem. I have my little fulcrum, my grip. Can I do that? See how you have this? Like you're holding a little marble? You holding a little something here? Good. Okay, take your other fingers away just for fun. And that was hard for you. Come on, show it to me. Show it to me like this. Okay, right, and then you can let the fingers come back, and you're just going to turn. Come all the way flat. Where would the floor really be? Or not? Okay. Is that your? Maybe you seem up a little bit high. Like if you're holding a stick, the stick would be a little high. I could be wrong, but just okay. So a wrist turn has to come back to that. There. Now you're stopping it over the magic mushroom. Do it again. There. That's a wrist turn. So if you want two of those, what would it look like? Ba, 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 ba. Come on, tap, tap. There. Now look, you're at the floor at that special place, right? Now, no matter how fast you... Oh, and by the way, it's not going up, 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 up. Try that. That's what you do. You let it bounce. Up, up. And it sounds like that. Up, up. Instead of up, up. Right? Up, up. Good. Now go up, up. Up, up. Yeah, you're back at the mat. Both have to come there. The first one too. Tap, tap. Here, put your hand underneath and feel it make contact. Now I'm letting you touch something. You can do it in the air. It'll like that. Look, you're clapping. Can't bounce. It ain't gonna work. There's no bounce. There. Tap, tap. Now go tap, 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 tap. There it is. Okay. You need two of those. Try it again. You're not gonna throw. We're looking for two of those. So we're always stopping here. Come on, play it without a throw. You weren't dipping, but you were bouncing. You were doing this. Bing bong, bing bong. Okay, you have to be at 92, which might be a little faster. So this is where you're just getting into. Okay, now introduce the throw. Don't dip. You dipped. Don't dip. Don't lay. Casses can't come up either. Then you are leading with your arm. If you don't dip, and you don't pull the beat up, you're not leading with your arm. There you go. Oh, it came up. You know it came up. Came up a little. No, it's coming up a little. Look at your bead. Come back and decide where your bead is. You have to go up slowly. Don't let it come up. First, you insist it's going to go down. Now I can't get you to go down. Yeah, you got it. You're getting it, right? Come on. You're rolling up. Around. There you go. Come on, keep it right there. Really, it helps, doesn't it? Come on, don't lift it up at all, and don't dip it. There you go. See how stable that is? Boom. Boom. Oh, okay, now just go back to playing at 92, just on the wrist. Now give me 2 rebounds. Now give me 2 rebounds in the right. We actually went from throwing. Yeah, but you involve the throw, play 1 pass, and then go double with the right hand. Just 1 pass. Now go da-da.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Cool. See? What I wanted. Because we're playing this on the wrist. Rebounds will be as we increase the tempo. There you go. Good. Okay, coming along. Let's put the metronome up to put it up at 120. look like this. Go ahead and play it for me.
The Kevin.
120. See, in reality, we could be at 60, playing it at 16th notes now, but just, okay. So now you don't know what to do. Now you're in no man's land. Yeah? Putting you through your paces, because this is really going to help you, right? Who's a wonderful drummer who did a TED talk. Great too. Awesome. You know, he plays real fast, one-handed. I can't think he's got the crazy hair. He's European. I can't think of his name. Sorry about that. Might want to Google that. Come to me. But yeah, now you're like, you figure out some of the other stuff. Now as tempo changes, but all this stuff will protect you. It's your suit of armor. It's your hazmat suit. It's going to get you through this. So what we're doing is, see, there's still time. I'm on the wrist. I can play wrists here. And look, it's 2 wrist turns, like I said. It's this. I'm not going, no, Ralph, just stay with me. Ralph, if you just stay with me, you'll get this whole thing. Okay. So we have that, right? Not what you started to do is it's kind of a half a rebound and half a turn. That got real sloshy, kind of like this, because you didn't know, and you didn't know what to do. Instead of okay? Look at my flatness. Look at me going around the fixed point of the universe. Look at me. 2 turns. And I'm just playing everything on the wrist right now. Could I play rebound? Yes. There's rebound. There's wrist. Keep throwing. Wrist, rebound. I'm not asking you to rebound yet. I want you to just play it on the wrist.
I don't think I can, but I can try.
Okay? Go for it.
It's just super tense and I can't do this.
You'll notice that my doubles, look where the height of my doubles. Look at the heights of my doubles. Right? See, I'm in here. See, my doubles are not too high. That's why I have time to get both of them at this speed. Go for it. Okay, now we want to identify one other thing that's happening. Good, better. Now, this tempo, Now I feel I'm at a tempo where there would be enough. Whether I'm playing rebounds or whether I'm turning my wrists. So just consider the up and go for it.
It's still all on the wrist, right?
On the wrist, but there's an upstroke. And remember, we're trying to get the bottom V, which is easier if you know how to move around a fixed point in the universe. Let the right dip, right there, it dipped, left dipped, dip, 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 dip. You're not leading with your wrist. Almost.
I don't really know what that means, Kevin.
I know you don't. It's because they're just words.
Leading with the wrist, I don't get this.
Don't always work.
For me, what leading with the wrist means you start leading the wrist, and then the rest will fall over. That's what I thought it was, but apparently it's not.
Exactly what I'm saying, but leading with the wrist has some implications. Leading with the wrist means you're not going to dip. You get this feeling.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay? You want this feeling. If it dips, to throw away your power. Don't dip. See what I'm saying? Because it's much better. It's much more stable too. Now you're at 120. You started to get unstable at 72. We sorted a few things out. Now you're at 120. Acknowledge that. Go ahead and play again. See if you can, or maybe we need to slow it down. This might be your top because you were able to not dip at what were we at? What 10? I had you at 100. I have you up to 92. Go for it. That's right. That's what I want. Doesn't that look like Murray? Doesn't that look like Louis? Video? Yeah. Dip right there. Now you're learning to make upstrokes without dipping. Still feel kind of flat. You barely feel you don't even feel the dip, do you? You know what it feels like? It doesn't even feel like you ever touch. I mean, it just feels like you're just doing this. It's like you're doing this. Tricky to do. Try this with me. Watch, it's not dipping. That's what it feels like. Look, stops in the air. Right? Good, 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 good. There you go. No, there's no throw there. Play a paradiddle. In the air like that. There you go. There you go. That's what it is. That's what it feels like. Good, Raph. See, you got it. Now you need to reflect on it. Now you need to accept that. So what it feels like, it just feels like I'm making that motion. I don't feel it dipping. I don't even feel that. Right? I don't feel that. I feel what you felt in the air. Okay. Let's crank her up to, let's see, what happens at 160? It's still eighth notes. Well, remember, let's put it 152, because Murray would say you should be able to play doubles at, okay, let's just put it at 152. And these are eighth notes. We can definitely play these on the wrist. Now, it's true. See if you can play it on the wrist. No, your right doesn't stop down. So you don't have to lift it up for your next note. Here it is. Now I'm rebounding. Check it out. You see, that's all it is. Now I am rebounding. Right? This hand, it works. It works just fine. Okay? So 152, let's hear it now. Allow it to rebound and let's see what happens. Because you've been able to do this. You've been able to go after playing Paradiddles. Your right's up in the air. Your right's up in the air. Your right is up in the air. It's stopping here. It's not stopping here. Then you have to lift it up and play a double. Slowly, just get to know. Nope, see, it stopped way up in the air that time. Okay, just make a downstroke in the right. Make a downstroke. That's what it does. No. No, just no. Has to do that. Just feel it slowly. You're feeling this today. Just make a downstroke. Okay, now lift it up, play a double, rebound. That's what it feels like. Look how flat all that is. And now you're at your sweet spot. That's the magic mushroom. I don't know. Now you're lifting the bead much higher. I told you, consider how high you're turning. Just turn it to... I would suggest stopping just for a moment after you land. Really feel it. You don't have to rush. There, now turn up and make a little double. No, don't turn up so high. Do it again. That's it. Now make a downstroke and stop right there. There. Do it again. You're reading with your wrist, dude. You must have some form of fulcrum. You're getting it to bounce. See, that's really good. This is really all. These are the little. We're getting to the actual image in the block of marble. We're whittling away until we get to, Michelangelo. And it takes this consideration. We don't stop up in the air. We don't dip. Keeps it much easier too. It's like really simple, and it feels much better. Everything is always stable. Right? It became stable. What was starting to abandon you at 72, which we got back because that's when you started to dip, and then I was no. 72 sounded really solid. Then we hit 192. You were, after a little bit of consideration, 120. That's kind of where probably really your top. Cranking it up to 152 was cool. If you want to practice this up to 152, go ahead and play it at 120 for me, just one last time. Eighth notes. Where are you going to start? See, you really have to pay attention before you play, don't you? Where's that magic? Where's the magic mushroom? Let it rebound. It's hard for you. It's too slow for rebound. Keep it on the wrist. I only want you to work on rebound. Nope. Okay, so you're going to have to work on that. There, you stop really flat. That was good. Too slow. I asked you to play rebound. That's why rebounds start to happen at a certain speed, right? So if you want to fool around with this, considering all these pieces I've just described to you, demonstrated to you, and then apply them at 152, still eighth notes, but wrist and then rebound. Wrist is going to, you're on the wrist, it's going to do this. If you're rebounding, it just does that. Right? It's that simple. Ba-da, or up, or da-da, da-da, ba-da, da-da, ba-da. Get them as similar sounding as possible. And you have to be honest with yourself. Because if you see beads stomping up in the air, what do? Chad Wackerman talks about it when he's teaching the Murray Spivack technique to Don Lombardi on the DW channel. There's a plug for my buddies over there. Chad, who's absolutely amazing. He talks about, and it's what it's at the beginning of stick control. It's part of the instructions. You have to slow it down if it's not working. Murray would say, stop, slow it down, which is hard to do because it's like, I got this. No, you don't. Be honest with yourself. If you see the bead dipping or you see it stopping up in the air, slow it down. Sort that out, because it'll make all the difference in the world. And I'll leave you with the adage. It was Richard Wilson. Told me this story more than once. And Richard Martinez recently reminded me of it. And that is, Murray was really happy when he arrived in LA from New York, sent Richard Wilson out ahead of time, and Richard got his studio together with the library, all the sheets of music and the slots for the the different strokes, all printed up, proper height pads, proper stools relative to that pad. Murray liked to sit up a little higher on it. It's interesting. And then he had wall-to-wall mirrors. Murray said, I just love them. It's great. Richard, the mirrors are really great. And it's walking away. Dick said, yeah, I know they're thank you. And I know they're really helpful, but you can't see it until you can feel it. It has nothing to do with words. You literally, how can you talk about it if you can't feel it? Let alone, you can't even see it if you don't feel it. Today you were feeling it. Okay, so trust your feelings. Good, Ralph. Good recording.